Yeah, Paul. I mean, if they do talk and meet in San Fran on the sidelines of APEC in November, it would have been exactly a year since that Bali summit at the G20. Paul, I want to ask you, the Biden administration, how are they managing or handling the pushback from U.S. Chip names? And these are big companies, right? Because I mean, the export controls on China, et cetera, is starting to hurt their business. It's a huge market for them, as well as a source of design for chips. And, you know, it's not as easy to say, look, guys, you got to understand where we're going strategically with this. You got to just take one for the team here.
Yeah, it's a great question, Martin. I think what the concern of U.S. industry has been, you know, for some time is that the goals of the export controls are sort of contradictory in some cases, right? And they're not always clear. Sometimes they're working across purposes. And so I think the leading U.S. semiconductor companies, and those break down into sort of the big sellers of manufactured chips, Intel, Nvidia, Qualcomm, you know, these are big players with big markets in China. And then they're the tool makers, the guys who make the tools to make the semiconductors. And the controls that the U.S. has implemented over the past year have hit both of those sides of the equation, if you will, in the semiconductor industry. And the argument of the industry is, look, we understand some of the national security concerns here, but we would like to have clarity about where this is going, because the sense is that the administration is sort of nickel and diming this issue and you know, incrementally increasing these controls every few months. And there's sort of a lack of clarity of where this is all going. You know, what's the bottom line here? Companies would like some clarity going forward. So particularly those companies like Nvidia, which are bearing the brunt of the recent controls around GPUs, for example. You know, there's a potential next week, for example, the U.S. will increase the controls around advanced GPUs, which will cut further into Nvidia's market in China. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has been very clear about the impact of this on his business. And the argument of the industry is, as you undercut our ability to generate revenue for some of these products, you're undercutting our ability to do R&D back in the U.S. and maintain our technology leadership. So that argument hasn't resonated so far that well with the administration, but I think the industry will continue to make that argument and also just push for more clarity in how these controls are going to be implemented. And you know, where the bottom line is, this is a very fast-changing industry. The technology changes every 18 months to 2 years, and so for the U.S. to try to draw a line around some of these capabilities, you know, is really problematic and creates a lot of disruptions in what is a very globalized industry.